What's up, y'all? I'm gonna change my seating so y'all can get a better view of me. What's up, y'all? Let me just start this off. Giving thanks to God. Start this off giving thanks to God. One and only. Secondly, giving thanks to the sun. For giving us life. For giving us renewed life every day. Father gave us order and initial life. The Son gives us new life. So this is what we're going to talk about. Today we're going to talk about new life. Not initial life, but new life. And I'm bringing this up because my neighbor says to me, he say, "Olu, you don't got to go to work today?"
What's up, man? You alright?
What up, man? Distractions. I ain't gonna pay it no mind. But listen. So my neighbor said to me, he said, "Olu, you don't gotta go to work today?" I said, "I called off work today." He looked at me crazy. He said, "Why?" I said, "It's Juneteenth." I said, he said, I asked him, I said, "Why haven't they made it a national holiday?" I said, "That's the reason why I'm calling off." But I realized something in that moment. Not everyone cares to be free. Not everyone cares to be free or wants to be free. And that's cool. You know what I'm gonna do today? I'm gonna paint. You know what some people wanted me to do today? What they wanted me to do today was go to the park and try to sell some art. But the difference with me is that I don't want to sell no art. I want to perfect my art. I'm going to use this day to perfect my freedom. I could go to the park where I can focus on myself, my own freedom. I realized that many of us don't want freedom. We don't even care. And I can't even get mad at that. Many of us don't even want freedom. We don't even care. When the system breaks you down, when they take your body, take your spirit, take your soul, take your confidence, take your dignity, and you don't have the confidence to kill yourself, you become the living dead. You don't know what else to do with your life. And that's why these people, mostly these men out here, be out here bugging. Because they don't know how to say, I have nothing to live for. I have nothing else to live for. I don't even have the imagination to think of a better life for myself. Talking about, why aren't you going to work on Friday? Is you crazy? First of all, this should be a national holiday, meaning that I should be getting paid. I should be getting paid on my day off, for real, for real. And I asked him that. I said, even if I don't do nothing, I can eat popcorn all day today. Even if I do nothing, I'm still not gonna work. For real, for real. If it was my way, if I ruled the world, all the Europeans would work, and their paycheck would go to the Afros. That's how we would redeem our life, redeem our worth. All the non-melanateds would work, and we would get their money. But that's just in a fairy tale world. Today, I'm gonna paint. I'm gonna paint my future. One of my other neighbors said, because we live in an impoverished. You see the lotto joint right there, the Big Mama joint. This is where I'm at with it. You see the lotto joint, the Big Mama joint. You see that? This is what they promote. This is what they feed us, and this is what we accept. Yesterday I was watching the Mortal Kombat movie, and it taught me a lot about sacrifice, harshness of life, betrayal, but also redemption, and the ability to know that the gods will always win. The gods will always win. Man is a fragment to the power of God. Secondly, if you feel like you're worthless or meaningless, God can give you purpose. But you gotta believe it. even if you don't believe in yourself. So my next neighbor, he gonna say to me, he said, "Olu, I saw someone stealing your art." I started laughing. You know what that meant? You know what that meant for me? People are looking at you. People, even when you think people don't see you, they see you. Because how you see my art when I was outside the whole time painting? I ain't see you. So where were you when you were looking at me doing my thing when I didn't see you looking at me? God told me something at that moment. He said, not only do people see you, they envy your progress. Because how's that a joke? Someone stealing your art? That was his intro. If you don't get on my face with that bullshit, stop playing with me. So I smiled. I smiled. And I kept it pushing. Because you're not about to stress me out. And I'm too close with God right now. I know what's going on. You got one last chance to change this world. And if you want to be a nigga, that's cool. But I ain't finna nigga with you. You get what I'm saying? Whether you black, it don't matter what you is. Negro, Native American. It's all, the white people done changed all the words though. If you want your sovereignty back, find it yourself. If you're African, learn how to be African to the fullest. If you're indigenous, learn how to be indigenous to the fullest. If you're Afro-Latino, learn how to be Afro-Latino to the fullest. Afro-Latina, all of it. Once you maximize who you are, then you start collaborating with others. The reason why we can't tap back in and we lost is because we don't know who we are. We don't know who we are. If you're Dominican, if you're Haitian, what is it? For the resistance. Pour la résistance. You gotta do it for the resistance. I don't mean rebellion. You gotta do it for the resistance. Now, if the resistance turns into rebellion, it is what it is. But you gotta do it for the resistance. Otherwise, we might as well stay in bondage forever. Who would have thought this would be us 400 years later? Or however time they say it is. It could be really 800 years, 1,000 years. Who knows if they're lying? All I know is that I can still feel the pain. Juneteeth. What would our ancestors think? What would our ancestors think? I'm almost 40 years old. And it seemed like 10. I'm grateful to be here, God. Do I like the circumstance? No. But I am grateful. I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to understand how to get the power back. I'm grateful to see the sunshine every day. I'm grateful to feel the rain on my skin, on my body. I'm grateful for the cloudy days. I'm grateful for a gift that God has given me. I'm even grateful to be in the hood. You know my feelings towards the hood. You know I'm bougie. But I'm even grateful to be in the hood to give me greater understanding. Bring me closer to God, allow me to appreciate what I've had all along. I'm grateful to God that I understand poverty, pain, persecution. I'm grateful to God that I understand what it means to prevail. You can prevail through any situation with God. But you gotta believe that God is God. If you don't believe that God has the power to be God, then you can't win this war. It all starts with self-appreciation, self-evaluation, and self-determination. Because if you don't have self-appreciation, no one's going to appreciate you. If you don't have self-evaluation, you can't analyze and grow. And if you don't have self-determination, you can't move on. You can't, not only can you not move on, you can't pursue better. You can't prevail. You can't even provide for something that is next, that is new, that is beyond yourself, because you're not determined to do it. If we fall, we fall. Because I'm tired of humanity. If we fall, we fall. And if we rise, we rise. But Juneteeth taught me one thing. That it's only half the battle if you're free. Because if you're free, like I said, it's like if you're in a relationship and someone says, go, we're done. You're free. But if you keep hitting them with the, what am I gonna be without you? What am I gonna do without you? Life is over. Then it don't matter how much freedom they give you, because you're still in bondage. I bet you right now, if you gave every black person $1 million, And you said this is pre-reparations. I bet you half of them people that got $1 million will not spend it on freeing themselves. I promise you that right now. If you gave every black person in America right now $1 million, more than 80% would spend it on frivolous things. They would not spend it on their freedom. I promise you that. And that's cool because God is only telling us who we are each day we live our life. God is only telling us who we are each day we live our life. He gave you agency, he gave you choice, so you can choose to better yourself if you choose to. If you choose to do otherwise, it's fine. But if you choose to better yourself, it's on you. So I'm glad Juneteenth is happening. And I'm glad that Juneteenth is not nationalized. Do I want it to be? Part of me does, because we deserve to be heard. But do we deserve to be heard as people or slaves? Depending on the narrative that you speak of yourself, that's what you'll live with. So I don't want no pity party for being melanated. Because if you're not going to help me, if you're not going to help me, God will. If you're not going to help me, get out the way. And if you're not going to help me, don't say you are going to help me. Let me know what I'm getting myself into. Let me know what who you are so I can know what I am. Juneteenth just showed us how much ingenuity we have, but also how oblivious we are to what the enemy is. We better wake up.